showdown to talk about. It played out in a Massachusetts courtroom today between the Trump administration and Harvard University. Billions of dollars withheld, federal funds on the line in that room as lawyers for each side laid out their arguments before a federal judge. So you may remember this battle comes after the Trump administration froze more than $2 billion in grants and contracts to the university, accusing them of failing to protect Jewish students. Harvard says the federal funding cuts imposed by HHS threaten vital research in medicine, science, and technology. They also called out the government's withholding of funding as, quote, leverage to gain control of academic decision-making. The Crimson Courage Harvard alumni group is holding a rally outside of that courthouse, and they have one message. Listen.
I think we're in times where most of us haven't seen anything like this before. And I will say that I led civil rights enforcement in colleges and universities and schools at the Justice Department. And as was mentioned today, we've never seen anything like this in the history of Title VI and of federal civil rights enforcement, of this kind of termination of federal funding without going through any of the kind of process that one would go through.
President Trump has picked out Harvard because of its standing and history and money. And he thinks if he can break Harvard, he can break everyone. Right. We challenge this in America. No kings here. No kings here. No kings here.
Hundreds of staff losing their jobs, tenure-track professors receiving layoff notices. And make no mistake, these attacks are blatantly unconstitutional. The government wants to tell professors what we can and cannot teach. The government wants to tell professors who we can and cannot teach. The government wants to tell students what they can and cannot learn, what questions they can and cannot ask, who they can and cannot aspire to be.
When I say hands off, you say Harvard. Hands off, Harvard. Hands off, Harvard.
So CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman, following that case, she joins us now. So Katrina, the question I really have today, what went down in that courtroom today that can really inform a matter of consequence?
Reed, so the judge really appeared to be struggling with some of these issues today and trying to grasp what the relationship is between what the government says the issue is, anti-Semitism on Harvard's campus, and taking away billions of dollars of federal funding that supports scientific research, such as for Parkinson's. And she acknowledged her own Jewish heritage. She said that she is the first to acknowledge that there have, in fact, been missteps here, but that she takes a question with the fact that the government is determining what is racist, what is discriminatory on campus. She also questioned whether they really need to go lab by lab, grant by grant, and determine that there was anti-Semitism going on in each of those places. Now, for the government, they actually say that this is a contract issue, Reed. They say it shouldn't even be in this federal court in Boston. It should be in a specialized court in Washington. And they also say that the government has the right to take away this funding and decide that it could be better used elsewhere. They even said potentially at Black universities.
Well, what precedent will this court battle where Harvard is concerned set for dozens of other institutions? They've already seen their funds frozen by the Trump administration.
Reed, that's a great question. Now, in terms of legal precedent, this is a federal court in Boston that doesn't create any kind of nationwide precedent, although, of course, whatever the outcome is here, this is a case that is very anticipated to end up in the Supreme Court. But it will set a precedent in terms of these arguments that we're seeing from both sides, what the judge accepts and what the government and the universities ultimately end up feeling that they can do based on her determination. This will absolutely set a precedent for all of these universities and their relationships with the government here.
CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman, great to see you on a Monday or any day, my friend. You have a good day. Let's go to the